Okay, welcome everybody to the webinar on what to expect at the Seattle Convention. We are joined here today by some members of the steering committee, and I am going to turn it over to them. They will introduce themselves and tell you about all the things Seattle.
Hi, I'm Michael Monakendam, and I'm the coordinator for this summer's convention.
I'm Zach Hemingway, and I'm the chair for worship at the summer's convention.
I'm Wanda Griffiths. I'm the new music chair for the convention.
I'm Kyle Haugen. I'm the advertising and promotions chair, and I also have a hand in the website and a little bit in the program book too.
And I'm James Thomas Schauer. I serve ex officio on the steering committee as the executive director of the AGO, and looking forward to learning myself about what's going to happen at Seattle. Eager to find out what everybody has to say. Michael, maybe you want to lead us off.
Okay. Well, would you like to talk about worship first, Zach?
Sure, I'd love to.
Since you have only a couple of minutes.
Yes. I'll be off to go get ready for a rehearsal shortly. Actually, with one of the choirs that you will hear this summer at the convention. We're really excited about worship at the convention this summer. We've got several offerings, and that roughly fall into two categories. The first category being things that we just wanted to do, if for lack of a better term with it. And those things are, one is going to be a festival of hymns, anthems, that touch on a variety of different traditions and different musical styles at Bellevue Presbyterian, big Cassavant organ there. That'll feature choir, brass, a new commission that Wanda's committee did such a wonderful job bringing to life. And the other will be a service of Lutheran Liturgy of the Hours off of sort of alternatum practices, sort of sung between the organ and then also the congregation. Those are both happening during the day on Wednesday and on Monday and Wednesday of the convention. And then your other options for worship, we decided for the rest of what we wanted to do with worship this summer in Seattle is to showcase what particular places around here sort of do best. For example, St. James Catholic Cathedral is long known for their choral program and their innovative way in which they use their music ministry there. So we decided that we would do Roman Catholic Vespers, actually, for the Feast of St. James, one night at the cathedral. The other cathedral, St. Mark's, is known famously for their Compline choir across the country. But one of the things here that St. Mark's is so known for is their annual service of Advent lessons and carols that's based off of the tradition of chanting the O antiphons, which started under Peter Halleck. A lot of music has been composed specifically for this service, and the yearly O antiphons Advent service at St. Mark's Cathedral is something that generally, like organists and music enthusiasts in the Seattle area, we try not to miss it every December. So we actually thought it would be a little fun to pretend that we were celebrating Advent in July, and give the rest of our colleagues who do not reside in Seattle, and if I don't know if you're like me, taking off work on the first Sunday of Advent is generally frowned upon in my position. So if you're unable to travel here on Advent 1 to see this sort of big tradition in Seattle, we thought we wanted to give you an opportunity to see that and to experience something that this city is very proud of, and a service that has in many ways had a big influence on church music itself here in Seattle, sort of the style in which things are done and the ethos of church music here in Seattle. Last but not least, you'll have a chance to actually come hear my choir at Epiphany Seattle do Evensong on Sunday afternoon if you're up for a pre-convention thing. But that's that for worship. Lots of new, fun, exciting commissions. I forgot to mention there's also a commission and I'm sort of stealing Wanda's thunder here, but there's a new commission at St. Mark's for O antiphons, and also a new commission at the Vespers at St. James service as well. So we're really excited about that. Maybe Wanda can sort of pick up from there, since that seems to be a natural segue.
Sure. Thank you for all that, Zach. So we have 9 commissions that were specifically generated by our committee for this event, and we sought to go with a diversity of ages and backgrounds and experience and things like that, so that we would have be reflecting that in our offerings. Then we also, because Atlanta had to be canceled in 2020, we did go ahead and have been able to incorporate 2 of the commissions from Atlanta that had involved choral music, so they really couldn't even be done in the summer event that ran that year. And so those will be featured in our closing concert, which is really exciting. And we also, of course, are premiering 2 pieces that are the result of the contests that were done through the AGO. One is the Marilyn Mason Award, and the other one is the Publishing the E.C. Shermer Award. As it turned out, there was a little bit of a mix-up, kerfluffle, but anyway, Jessica French, who is a wonderful, wonderful composer in this area, we commissioned her, and then somehow the left and the right hand wasn't quite paying attention, and she won the contest, which is fabulous for her, and we're excited about both pieces. So that's a really cool thing. I think they are both being premiered at St. James Cathedral as part of that those worship events. We are known for coffee because we are the home of Starbucks, and so one of our commissions that I wanted to lift up today is a new coffee cantata. And of course, this is partly in homage to Bach's Coffee Cantata, which was a solo cantata. And so, but we wanted this to be very approachable, very doable for churches. So it is for SATB choir and organ and a few instruments. And I'm feeling stupid, I can't remember the instruments are. And but some percussion, and then saxophone. Yeah, no, it's saxophone. John Muleisen, who has received a great deal of attention, really nationwide over the last several years, is the composer for that, and he has worked with Tony Silvestri, Charles Anthony Silvestri, who is based in Lawrence, Kansas. If you go to Mr. Silvestri's website, you will see how many really big names of choral groups and choral composers he has worked with. So we are thrilled that he had time to do this. And he has this fabulous sense of humor that is just delightful. And him and John are such a wonderful team working together to come up with this often humorous, it's a barista is one of the characters. It's a soprano and a tenor, I believe, and one is the somebody who wants to leave their corporate job and become a barista. And the other role is a woman who's managing a coffee shop, and she can't keep her employees. Everybody's quitting, and it's like so timely because they wrote this. We generated this conversation initially in January of 2019, and the final commission went. All of that took a long time to get it generated by the summer of 2019, and the work was due, I don't know. Anyway, so it all predates a lot of the turmoil that has gone over the last couple of years, and we think it will be just a delightful, cathartic moment for that time. On the other side of the spectrum, 2020 was a heck of a year, and most of these commissions had to be done by July of 2021. So they had from July of 2020 to July of 2021 to finish their work so that we had plenty of time to program them, get them to performers, get them scheduled in the various sites, have people learn the music. And so during that very tumultuous time, most of the composers, I tell my music history students, nothing is created in a vacuum. When you study music history, you have to look at what's going on in the culture, in the society, in the church music world, all of that. And so these pieces are very affected, but in a really powerful and meaningful way. And so I'm just so pleased with so many of these. We've got Carol Barnett, who wrote, you may know her, Bluegrass Mass, which is just delightful, but she's written a piece for French horn. I've got so many in my head. French horn and organ that is called Summer 2020, and it's powerful, and these are not downer pieces of music, but they're so impacted by what went on in our world. We have Sharon Willis, who's based in Atlanta. She was also commissioned in 2006 for the AGO convention, and she's written a suite called Ascension Suite and is lifting up names, both historical and from the summer of 2020 with George Floyd and all the turmoil that was surrounding there, and then she's a Black composer using the melodies of the African American tradition to lift up these things and to write some powerful music for that. Let's see, we just have so many, I could go on and on. But that gives you a little bit of the highlights of that. And almost every concert has a new commission in it. Not absolutely everyone, but if you go to the profiles page on the website, you'll see photos of each of these people. You'll see a description of their work, and you'll also be able to see exactly which concert they are going to be, their works will be premiered at. And these are world premieres. They're absolutely world premieres. We also have a composer from Japan, Hina Sakamoto, who has composed a piece for organ and marimba that I'm just obsessed with. Thank you, Zach. I see that your comment that you need to run. So thanks. We'll see you later. Good luck. As soon as I heard Hina's piece, I'm like, I am obsessed with this. I love this piece. So I think I should probably give others a chance to share, but unless you have questions, I think I'll turn it over to maybe Zach next. I'm sorry, not Zach. I'm looking at Kyle and saying Zach. I'll turn it over to Kyle.
No worries. Thanks, Wanda. Would it be possible to have screen sharing privileges too?
Yes, I will do that right now. Yes.
So way back in, I don't know, 2018, 2019, something like that, the steering committee was thinking about themes for the convention, and we settled on the well-tempered future. And one of the impacting reasons for that was thinking about the Pacific Northwest, and that it's kind of a confluence of old and new in a sense, because it's a hub of Baroque style organ builders like Paul Fritz and Martin Posse, who are right here in the Seattle area, John Brumbaugh's in Oregon. Those three builders will all be represented with instruments in the convention, as a matter of fact. But also this is a center of innovation. Microsoft is here, Amazon is here, Expedia, not to mention Starbucks that we talked about before. Well-tempered, a nod to Bach and to the past and to the Baroque, and the future, a nod to the technology boom, the building boom in Seattle. Anyone who hasn't been to Seattle for 10 years won't really know what downtown looks like compared to what it used to be like. There's just been a whole lot going on around here. And then with everything that's happened in the last 2 years or so, well-tempered future took on a completely new meaning. If you think of tempered glass, tempered steel, something that's sort of been strengthened through trial. Many of us have been through it as musicians, and of course, many of us, if not oneself, then probably people you know have been impacted greatly by what's been going on the last couple of years. So the well-tempered future takes on even another meaning. So that's a little bit about how we arrived at the convention theme. I'm going to share my screen here. Many of you have probably seen the website, but just want to go take a peek at it here. I hope that's sharing now. Can I get a nod or a thumbs up? I've got two screens here. Thanks. So I wasn't quite sure where it goes. If I'm looking up into the distance, I'm looking at another monitor here. You can see too that here in the navigation, we have a link to the scholarships that are available, as well as down here in the welcome text. So I hope that Young Organists will take a peek at the scholarship application if you haven't already. Going back to the main website, one of the things that I bring to the committee, I'm not sure how many of us are native Seattle folks. I'm actually a native of Tacoma, even though I've lived in Minneapolis and Boston. And one of the things that I thought might be useful to people who either haven't visited Seattle or haven't visited in a while would be to collect some information about traveling to the area. So here on the travel information page that you saw me access from the menu up here and onto view all travel, not only do we have some information about the hotel and arriving by air, including a great discount from Alaska Airlines if you're interested in flying with them, but I put together a little bit of information that you can access from this link about exploring Seattle and beyond, especially if you happen to be arriving early or staying late. There is so much to do right in Seattle itself, and a lot of you probably know some of the big attractions. I've gone ahead and put some links, for example, to the original Starbucks. If you click on these links throughout this page, for example, the Seattle Art Museum, unless the link has broken, should bring up the Seattle Art Museum page or whatever page is linked there. But then also if you click on the distance here, you'll have a Google map that shows you directions from the Hyatt Regency Seattle, our convention hotel, to whatever attraction is listed there. I've also put together a little neighborhoods sampler. Like so many great American cities, Seattle's really known for its neighborhoods. Capitol Hill is one of the great entertainment districts in Seattle. That's probably a short Uber away, probably a little, not a walk from the hotel. But again, you can explore some of these neighborhoods. Washington State itself, if you are coming early or staying late and are going to have access to a car, by car, you are a half day's drive from desert conditions and a half day's drive from a temperate rainforest. Washington State is incredibly diverse in terms of what it offers for recreation. There's also wine country that's about a half day's drive to the east, farmland. You can head west to the coast. And of course, if you're interested in Vancouver, Victoria, British Columbia, or Portland, Oregon, you're about 3 hours roughly or less from those urban destinations. So as you're thinking about coming out here, particularly if you do have the time to come early or stay late, I hope that some of the links there in terms of travel are of interest to you. I'm, like I mentioned, I'm a Seattle Tacoma native, so it's been fun to see how the area has grown and changed in my lifetime. And really, as I've lived other places around the country, it's hard to match what Seattle offers in terms of urban trekking and things to explore together with what's around the area. So much of our imagery includes Mount Rainier, which is I believe the tallest volcanic peak in the Cascade Range. That beautiful image on our website is from about 2.5 hours east-southeast of where you'll be. And on a clear day, which we're almost guaranteed by the 5th of July in Seattle. 5th of July is the unofficial start to summer every year. You'll see Mount Rainier kind of watching over the whole proceedings. In fact, from if you can get a little bit away from the urban landscapes around you by the convention hotel, you'll see the Olympic Mountains to the west and the Cascade Mountains to the east with Mount Rainier. It's a really stunning area. Be ready for the 80s and low humidity. I say this having written on our initial website language to that effect, and then we had record-breaking temperatures last July. But one of the jokes around here is that the 4th of July might feel a little more like spring in Seattle, might even be a little cloudy, and then the 5th of July, it's 82. So we'll knock on wood and hope for that. There'll be a fireworks display, 4th of July, the first public fireworks, I assume, the first public fireworks display that human beings can go attend in person. Will also be later that night. There'll also be convention goings on, but you'll probably be able to sneak outside and see that after what's happening on the 4th for the convention. So there's a few things to keep in mind about traveling to Seattle and some of the fun stuff that's going on here. If you haven't already, and you probably have, but keep looking around the website. It'll continue to grow and change and develop and you can find a lot of really cool information about our performing artists, especially, and our composers of new music. I really encourage you to take a look at the profiles that are there and see when these concerts and events are happening. Thanks.
Thanks, Kyle. Thanks, Wanda. Thanks, Zach, even though you can't hear me. Jillian, would it be possible for me to share? Our program chair isn't here. He has church all day. So I wanted to go over some of the concert schedule.
Yeah, you should be good now. Yeah.
Okay. Hold on.
Alex, we're so glad you're here.
Thank you.
Oh, for God's sake.
Good to have you.
This is going to take too long. Anyway, well, I can tell you all about it. So our convention begins on Sunday afternoon with evensong at Zach's church. Zach, who was on earlier. And then we go back to the hotel, and that evening, the St. Cecilia recital will be David Briggs at Benaroya Hall downtown. Benaroya Hall is home to the Seattle Symphony, and it's going to be quite an evening, and there'll be a reception afterwards. The next morning, on the 4th of July, we head in buses south to Tacoma. If you haven't made your travel arrangements together yet, you'll notice that the airport is the SeaTac, Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, because the metropolitan area of Seattle includes all the way down to Tacoma. It's 30 miles roughly down there, and it's a holiday, so traveling should be pretty smooth. And we will spend the daytime there. There'll be worship service. There'll be a worship service, some recitals, a lunch if you're so inclined, a box lunch that you can order through the registration tab. And then that evening, which is the 4th of July, actually that afternoon at 5 o'clock, there's going to be a cocktail hour concert by Carol Williams at the hotel. She'll be playing on a Viscount organ. And then about 3 blocks away is our Paramount Theater, which has a huge Wurlitzer, and Teddy Gibson will be doing an organ concert and accompanying a silent movie, which is going to be really exciting. Is it the summertime? Maybe Kyle or Wanda knows that they do that on Monday nights. Anyway, but they have show silent movies, and someone accompanies the movies on the Wurlitzer, and it's really fun. And then the next morning is July 5th, Tuesday, and in the morning, we will have workshops until about lunchtime. Then we'll break, and then the buses will take us to a number of different locations for recitals, commissions. Yeah, everyone's super excited about this. Also, I wanted to reiterate again that there is scholarship money available on the website through the registration. The tab, I think Kyle was able to show the tab where the tab is. And all you have to do is fill it out, write an essay, and then send it in, and I'll go from there. Excuse me. Then that evening on Tuesday, actually Tuesday and Wednesday evenings, there'll be a choice of one or the other. There is, I think Zach alluded to this, there's the O antiphon service, which really, I know that he said this, but it really is one of the high points in church music. Peter Halleck started it a very long time ago, and it's just built and built. And this, I don't know how much I think the church seats 1,000, and it's literally standing room only. And which is always amazing to me, because Seattle is the 4th most unchurched city in the country, and yet Compline on Sunday nights and the O antiphon services are numbers that no other church really sees. And it's the O antiphon service is great. At the same time, at St. James Cathedral, the Catholic Cathedral, there will be the Vesper service. And then the following evening, you just pick the other one. So you can see both. It's just Wednesday and Thursday, right? Yes. Where are we?
It's Tuesday and Wednesday.
Tuesday, Wednesday. Thank you, Wanda. God. Okay. Then Wednesday morning, we also have workshops until about lunchtime. And then we board our buses and go all over the Seattle area for concerts. The Rising Stars will be playing that day. And then in the evening again, after dinner, you'll switch to the other O antiphons or the St. James Vespers. And then, come on, baby, load up. Then the next day is our closing day. And again, workshops will be held in the morning. And just after lunchtime, we're going to have concerts around Wanda's own church will be hosting a concert on July 7th. And then that night is the closing concert. It's going to be it's going to be choir, orchestra, organ. It's going to be an amazing, amazing evening. And I just gave you a brief overview of that because I don't want to take up all. I mean, I could go on and on, but it's best I stop now. Otherwise, I'll be telling you all the minutiae. James, did you have anything to say? You're muted.
I'm muted. There we go. Unmute. So the one thing that comes to mind, because this is a Year of the Young Organist webinar, is to talk about things about the Year of the Young Organist. And in particular, there's a reception that is being planned for young organists, only exclusively for young organists. And I don't think we have the site picked out yet. And we're still working. As I said, being planned, we're working on it. I don't recall, Jillian, maybe you know if we've got the day.
I believe it is Tuesday during the dinner hour.
Tuesday during the dinner hour. Okay, so special reception for young organists Tuesday during the dinner hour. And Michael, thank you for mentioning the scholarships. This convention is going to offer roughly in excess of $13,000 of scholarship funding for young organists from several different sources, including housing scholarships and other scholarships that I think will cover registration as well. But courtesy of an anonymous donor and the Houston convention, paying it forward, as they say, providing a $10,000 scholarship. So overall, $13,000 plus in scholarships will be available to young organists, which is really very special. Those are the two things I wanted to mention, was just the tremendous generosity of the scholarships available and the reception that's being planned for Tuesday at a place to be determined exclusively for young organists, except I might show up and welcome everybody. So other than that, those are the things that come to mind. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Alex, do you have any questions about anything, or is there any information we could?
Not so much. There is one thing I would say maybe about the scholarship, because fortunately I am still in the age group to be part of the Agoyo, but I am no longer a student. I actually am a full-time employee as of 4 months ago. And hasn't been clear about continuing education, but I do see on the website or the Google form that the scholarship was more towards young organists who are indeed still enrolled in college.
The housing scholarship, we have we're making available scholarships for people who are out of college. You don't have to be in college. You don't have to be a student. You can be working full time. In other words, your exact situation. And that the housing scholarships are available for up to 5 nights in the hotel, fully comped by the scholarship. So just focus on the housing scholarship.
And is that through the same Google form that was shared earlier, or is that through a separate document?
You know, Alex, I'm not sure the answer to that question. And I saw in the last 48 hours an email that had the link to that particular housing scholarship. And it came from Luke, and I haven't got his last name, under my Stanisuzias, and I'm mispronouncing it, and I apologize, Luke. But an email from Luke, and Alex, if you want, I can forward that email with the link to the housing scholarship application to you, if you're interested.
Sure, I will take a look at that.
Please forward that to me too, James, and I'll work to get that on the website.
Okay, Kyle, sure thing. And Alex, Kyle, I have your email, but Alex, you don't have to put it on the webinar here, but I guess you're in my impact in our database, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so we'll get it to you that way. Great, thank you.
Jillian?
Yes, thank you, everybody. This is very informative, and I appreciate a walkthrough and some additional information that we don't get on the website right now. So I'll just remind everybody to reach out to the Young Organist Committee if there's any further questions. We can always pass things on, and keep watching your email, because we will keep sending out scholarship information and things like that. But thank you.
Thank you,
everybody.
Jillian. Well done.
Yeah, thank
Kyle,
you.
Wanda, Michael, thank you. Alex, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great rest of your Sunday, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you. See you this summer.
See you in the summer.